Hey guys, welcome to Sippin' and Spillin' with Sid from 3 Mississippi. This is attempt number 2. So, funny story, and we'll see if this one actually works, if I end up posting it or not. So, the last couple Sippin' and Spillins that I posted, previous to the one I posted yesterday, because that one I didn't use a mic for because I was just sitting in the car and I wasn't moving. I've had some issues with the sound for some people cutting in and out. It wasn't for everybody, and some people it was like worse than others. And even when I watched it back after the upload, it wasn't as bad on one form as it was on the other. Anyway, the only thing I can figure after going through and troubleshooting 20,000 things is that one of the settings got changed, and I don't know how or why it got changed because I didn't change it. I can't imagine. Mike never takes the microphone. I usually just hand him one to put on when he uses it. So I have no idea what caused that to shift, but unfortunately it switched it to a different mode than for the mode that I needed it to be. So I don't know if that's what caused it, because I was going over thinking maybe the cable had become loose or partially disconnected in the camera, but the weird thing is that it was only happening those 2 Sippin' and Spillins I filmed on the front porch, and that was it. It wasn't doing any of it when I was walking around filming or when I was filming anything for 3 Mississippi. So I was like, do my microphones just not like Sippin' and Spillin'? Then I was like, it's almost like it's picking up the bugs and putting them in the foreground and turning me down, which is weird. And it was doing it kind of sporadically. Anyway, I've been playing around with it for a few days to try to, fully get it. And for some reason, it only just now occurred to me to go into the settings and just verify that everything was happy and hunky-dory. So, that being said, if you guys see this video, it means that it worked. If you don't see this video, then it means I'm still working on it. Then you would never know. So, hopefully this fixes the problem, because I never had the problem before. And these microphones, guys, are not very old. I literally have only used them for the last couple of months. I have not had them very long. I think I got them the end of April, and I didn't even use them a lot in the beginning because I was still trying to figure them out, and I did have some issues with them in the beginning because I didn't have it everything set up correctly. And in all fairness, I'm not super tech savvy. However, I've noticed that electronic things nowadays, they tend to just not come with an instruction manual. Not even a basic, this is how you turn it off and on situation. You have to go online and you have to find it, and then there's different versions of it depending on which thing you're looking. Anyway, it's an absolute nightmare for somebody like me who needs to be told, do this to make it do this, do this to make it do this, hit this button for this. Can we do that? Can we get back to that? Because for Pete's sake. And guys, I know it looks really dark out right now. It's only 2:30 in the afternoon. But we had a little bit of a stormy storm kind of loving on us a little bit. We didn't get much rain out of it. We got a little bit of sprinkling. But we haven't gotten really anything significant as far as moisture out of the sky goes. Fix that a little bit. There we go. It doesn't like that bumpy road, even though it's supposed to not move. It does. I'm telling you, anything related to technological stuff gives me problems at some point or another. I always have to work with it, figure it out. Anywho, hopefully this did the trick, because like I said, I haven't had them very long, haven't used them very much, so it wasn't like they were damaged. They've been charged. It was nothing like that. It wasn't because my hair was hitting it. It was literally, I think, because of this one setting, I think it was fading in and out, trying to pick up the background noise and making it the foreground noise for whatever reason. I don't know. Hopefully I fixed it. So I'm actually anxious to like hit playback on this when I finish recording and see if it actually worked, because praise and hark, because that will solve a lot of my problems. Anyway, today's video that's coming out on 3 Mississippi, if all the stars are in alignment and nothing else gets fakaked this week, we went over to our new friends that we met at church, Carly and Nathan's place. You guys may remember them if you watched any of the videos from Sip of Freedom weekend. We had just met them the Sunday at church before Freedom Weekend, and while we were standing there chatting with them, and they were talking about their property and how they're living in basically in tents and cargo containers right now on their property and all this. Anyway, I invited them. I was like, you're gonna love this YouTube group of people. A lot of them are off-gridders or have like lived on the raw land and have like done this. And in all fairness, so has Mike. He grew up that way. He was off-grid before it was cool. But long story short, I invited them after knowing them for, 5 minutes. And we exchanged numbers so we could get a hold of each other or whatever. And Carly texted me and was like, hey, we don't have much going on this week. Do you need any help? And I was like, well, Thursday we're going to be prepping a lot of the food, and Mike's really working on this electrical issue. And she said, well, so we gave Mike Nathan's number, and turns out that Nathan knows a lot about that kind of stuff. And so he had him come over, and they worked like all day Thursday on finishing the electrical in the shop. And so it was a huge win for Tim, because he got to plug in his RV, because that's what they were finishing up, was getting those plugs in and a couple other little things for the rafters to get some stuff up and off the ground in the shop and all that kind of stuff. So he was instrumental in that. And of course Carly was helping me in the kitchen with Jen on Thursday, prepping food and getting stuff ready for the next few days. So they were, huge in kind of helping with a lot of that stuff, and we had just met them and put them to work. So we had said to them, half joking, like, but definitely a serious offer, was like, well, aren't you glad you met us? Like, the minute you meet us, we put you to work. So now it's your turn. Like, what do you need done? And Mike and Ryan had gone over there the other day to just kind of see their property, because they knew it was really close to Ryan's house, but they didn't, they hadn't been there. And then we've driven by it like a gazillion times. And so anyway, they popped over, and Nathan was giving them the tour and showing them the stuff, and he was saying, yeah, my tractor's broken, and I need to bush hog all this, and I don't have a mower, and I need to mow all this, and and Mike and Ryan were like, well, we have tractors with bush hogs, and Mike's like, well, I got a mower I can bring over, and you want us to? And he was like, yeah. So anyway, so that Saturday we got the tour of the property, and I did. They had already gotten it, and of some of the property. I didn't even go. It's a big property. They got just under 200 acres, so it's a big property. And they got a lot of it leased out for soybeans right now, but they're working on their little piece and their area. So I got to go see all that and then share it with you. And they do have a YouTube channel which has a lot of the early days of kind of like the dirt work they were doing, because Nathan runs heavy equipment. So that's why he wasn't there on Saturday when we were over there working too, because he was on a job. But anyway, the whole property of theirs that they're working on and what they're building, and their tents and their cargo containers and their really cool school bus, I got to film that and interview Carly a little bit. And they do have a channel. It's called Nature's Potluck, and I have it on the 3 Mississippi video. I put in a card for one of their more popular videos when I'm talking about it, and I also put the link down below and tagged them. So it's not a big channel, guys, because they've just sort of been dabbling in it. So don't get excited thinking like, oh, they haven't done a lot with it yet. But they're thinking about doing some more with it, which I think would be amazing. I think that they would do really well if they decide to do it. And doing it's half the battle, right? Filming it, editing it, putting it out there, that's half the battle. So I think it would be great for them. So they, right now, the stuff that's on their channel doesn't really show them much, doesn't show their personalities, doesn't show who they are. And Nathan's kind of like goofy and witty, and Carly's very sweet and kind of, I wouldn't say she's more serious, but she's more quiet. She's more like, I haven't seen her come out of her shell yet. I'll get her there. I always do. If anybody could pull the wacky out of somebody, it's me. I'll get her there eventually. But anyway, but she's very sweet. I like her very much. And I think they would do, well if they put themselves on there. But right now, it's just basically showing the progression of the land. That's what's on their channel right now. But I think, and this is what I say in the video, this on 3 Mississippi, that y'all need to go on there and leave comments on their videos and tell them, like, we need to see some more current content. You need to tell us who you are. 3 Mississippi says, we got to know you. So I think that might give them the encouragement, the bump, the push, the gentle nudge, if you will, to go ahead and bite the bullet and, start really taking it more seriously, And I think they're definitely thinking about it. And I think more so because they met us. I think sometimes the idea of YouTube can be very daunting until you meet somebody who's actually doing it. I don't know. I didn't know anybody that did YouTube until we were like pretty far along in the journey. I hadn't met any other channels. We hadn't done any collabs. There was nothing like that. I felt very much isolated in our little YouTube journey for a long time. And part of that was just because of where we were. And part of it was because we did reach out to some like gardening channels that were based out of California that actually lived very close to us. But they would never respond because, I think maybe at the time we might have had between 40 and 60,000 subscribers, and that wasn't like enough to talk to us, I guess. And so I don't like that. I never have done that. I do it based off of, do I like you? Do I think you're taking YouTube seriously? And like, do I think you're like a good human that I would feel comfortable like telling other people to like watch, right? And that's really it. I don't care if you have 1 subscriber or 500,000 subscribers. Like that doesn't matter to me. But for some channels, some people that have channels, that very much matters. So that was one of the reasons why I think we felt kind of isolated from everything and just kind of, separate in a way. But I'm very happy that like when I meet somebody that does have a channel that's small, like Nathan and Carly, that's just kind of starting out, not sure if they want to do it, not sure how to go forward, not sure, having some like, I don't know, maybe, but I want to do it kind of attitude. I can be like, you can do it. Do you need help? I will tell you. You have questions? I will answer. And get them kind of scooting along. So, because sometimes people just need a nudge, Sometimes people just need somebody to tell them like, oh, you would be good at this. You should do this, So anyway, there's that. There's my 2 cents, my pep talk for the day. We call that, Beth has this thing she does with her dog every day called words of affirmation. And I've always done it with my animals, and but I've never named it that. But now I call it that because she calls it that. And so we are words of affirmation, or our daily affirmation with, where I tell everybody that they're good and pretty and, smart and all those things. And sometimes we do, oh, they are stuck. in that driveway. You're just spinning, baby. You just spinning. I'll have to go see if they need help. I got a tow strap. Anyway, let me go see if this guy needs rescuing. Have a blessed day, guys. And remember, safety's off.